A little-known program uses 3 converted school buses to spread love and reading across all 2,000 plus square miles in Polk County. The community service is a partnership between a federal program, the Polk County School Board's Library Media Services, and other community partners. Their story is up next on Polk Place. Welcome to Polk Place. I'm your host, Jeremy Morady, and with me today we've got Monica Gable, who is the paraprofessional driver of the Books Bridge program, Heather Dodge, the library specialist of the Books Bridge program, and Lisa Beener of the library media specialist for the Books Bridge program.
Hi.
Thank you guys so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, it looks like you guys came prepared too.
Yes.
You got all kinds of treats for us.
We try to be. Yes.
So, well, you guys have a really incredible program that I don't think a whole lot of folks have heard about, but it's a wonderful service that you guys are providing out there during the summertime for kids. And Lisa, do you want to talk to us a little bit about how that kind of came about?
Yeah, sure. So I've been a teacher librarian for many years, and I really always worried about what children had to read, especially over those critical summer months when they, don't have access to a school library. So back in 2012, there were 3 of us that got together and wrote the Innovative Approaches to Literacy grant, and it was funded by the Department of Education out of Washington, D.C. So that's how it initially got funded.
Okay. So now, from there, 2012, how has this kind of caught on? What did you guys start with in those first few years?
So the first couple of years, Heather and I were the initial librarians that went into schools that really needed some extra support. So we actually shared one bus together. We had 2 mobile library units at first. And so we started the Books Bridge concept, where we would go into a school that did not have access to a certified library media specialist. So we became that bridge. So we were a couple days a week, we were in a school library. I worked at Auburndale Central Elementary. Heather worked at Oscar J. Pope. And so we shared a driver, and we would go back and forth, a paradriver, and we would actually work into neighborhoods where students needed the most support of the school that we were working with.
So now, when y'all started this, were you just kind of targeting the students already that you knew from the schools, or were you going for some new areas that you just kind of heard about? Or
well, the district identified some underperforming schools that really needed extra support. So we were that person, that support person in the library setting that would work 2 days a week there and 2 days a week out into neighborhoods where we supported literacy with helping preschoolers and families in their neighborhood. And then we offered library programming on Saturdays. It was a very unique program where we would open it up to the whole school. So we did a lot of various things. So during the initial part of the grant, when it first started, we had to follow the objectives of the grant in order to get the funding from the Department of Ed.
What was it like starting out? And you get the grant, and how do you go bus shopping? Kind of start putting those things together. The different books.
There
and
were
things
several
like that.
people in our district that helped with that,
Okay.
and so it was really a cutting edge type of programming. We were the only ones in Florida that got awarded the initial funding for it. So we did a lot of brainstorming. Heather and I shared an office at that point. Monica was on board when we first started. So we all really got together and worked with the principals, worked with the teachers, had family involvement time with different families that were at that school. I had not worked at the school that I was placed at and I was hired to support. So I really took some time doing some scouting and talked to the teachers already at the school. Where do your students come from that need the most support? So we identified a few areas, a few neighborhoods, and we actually went into those neighborhoods and got permission to park there. So that was a really neat concept because
you guys were just kind of going
It was
door to door
after-school
then,
program.
or okay?
yes, maybe Heather can answer a little bit of that.
One of the things we found is for some of our students to get to the public library through the transportation system was over an hour and a half each way, when it was in reality just a few miles down the road. But because of transportation issues in a lot of our more needy areas, the students had no access to any kind of public service. So those areas were identified, and then we took the bus in. And I believe originally we were going to purchase an old bookmobile,
Okay.
which, well, we're driving down the
Yeah.
road. A lot of people think we're a bookmobile. And the school board stepped in and said, no, we've got some buses that are about to be retired. Let's get our carpenters on it, and we have excellent carpenters. And basically the whole district came together to clear out a bus and turn it into this mobile classroom library concept.
That's awesome.
Yeah, with Wi-Fi and computers
TV.
and yes.
Yep.
So
Wow.
it was really, part of the concept was kind of like the magic school bus. So we really have lots of fun enrichment type activities where we teach the kids. We were that virtual field trip, especially in those summer months when the student population that we work with, their parents are working, many of our students cannot afford to even go to the beach. So
And that
we
creates a big gap
Yes.
between your school years.
Yes. So it was just, the vessel is the bus. So we were able to go into the highest need areas where students need lots of extra support.
So now, fast forward here 6 years later, y'all have 3 buses.
Yes. Yeah.
Getting into a whole bunch of different areas.
Well,
can you-
it's different now, right? So our funding changed.
Okay.
So now we're funded through Title I, so the grant's over. So now we're funded through Title I, and our concentration is preschool.
Okay.
So we go to different preschools, all 3 of the buses, and we're
Okay.
broke up into zones now too. So our zone, we're a team on one bus. We're west side of whole Polk County.
Okay.
Lisa and her team is east side, and then we have a central bus that's the central side.
Okay.
So we get to know our zones really well, the parents, the children. And so we go to community sites, and then we go to preschools. Preschools mainly in the morning.
Okay.
A lot of fun.
Oh yeah. I can
Adorable.
bet.
And
Fun
the
age.
idea being to encourage reading before they get into school, reading with the
Yes.
whole family. There's been some studies that households without books in them, children are significantly less likely to even graduate high school. So we're trying to get the whole family and kids excited about reading even before they can really read.
Exactly.
Keep the whole family involved. So that's the preschool.
Super fun.
Oh yeah.
So we park at the preschool, and all of our buses basically do the same. Different personalities, different themes, but we basically do the same. So the children come on with their teachers, and they all sit down, about 18 kids. We do 4 and 5-year-olds, and we have them count how many kids there are. So we put our data down, how many kids are on the bus, and then we do a little lesson. And we do some classroom management songs, and we're trying to get them to learn, cover your mouth when you cough, things like that. Stay in line, those kinds of things. And then they get to choose a book. So they're on like 30 minutes. Their attention span is small, so 30 minutes is good. And then they get to choose a book, which is awesome. They get to choose a book. They get to take it home forever, and we put a little sticker on it saying, this is from the Book Bridge bus, and they love it.
Sounds great.
So that's why we have the puppets. We teach them how to do it. We do the manners thing.
So you guys do little lessons with
yes,
them?
it's adorable. We do fairy tales and literacy, the stories beginning, middle, end, that kind of thing, and teach them manners.
We
that
do
kind of
lots of vocabulary
stuff.
development.
Yeah, vocabulary, background knowledge.
So part of the concept of taking the book home is we know that our families that we outreach to do not have access to books. So the research tells us that if kids self-select the book, they're more apt to want to read it with their parent.
Kind of like a more vested interest type
Yes,
of. Okay.
yes.
Exactly.
So they really need those pieces of literature to read to build their vocabulary and to build their knowledge before they enter school.
So now, during the summertime, I mean, how many kids are you guys reaching?
A lot.
A lot, yeah.
At our preschools, we probably average 300-400 a week. We also go to community sites now where the community is welcome to come. We do health clinics, again, targeting some of our
That's our best sites.
less affluent areas. And they get to come on and pick books for all of their kids, baby through high school.
Even if the child isn't there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we average about
Probably
close to 1,000 books a
good,
week.
Yes.
Each bus.
Probably, I would say each bus targeted is on average about 500 students and family plus parents each week. So our program continues to grow. I would say, we know from the very 2012, and then we started that first summer in 2013, it has dramatically grown. Yeah.
This summer, the West area is averaging about 1,000 books a week. We're
Wow,
giving
large
away.
area.
So we are very, very grateful to the federal
Title I funds,
programs to support. They're helping fund. Now we find books, they're not always the first run book, but there's a lot of good stories that the parents are like, oh, I remember reading this when I was a kid.
I have a sampling of the books that we would typically give out, and we even tried, once we're doing a literacy lesson, if we're learning about oceans, we feature those books as well. I know each one of us gets to know our population, so we get to know those kids. Some of the kids we've been working with for several years out in the community. They follow us wherever we go. They're really starved for books and for learning and for reading. So it is a wonderful program, and we feel very fortunate to be able to continue the programming through those critical months of summer.
So now, any plans on expansion?
So expansion right now, there are not currently plans. However, we are constantly reevaluating how we are serving, both through our funding requirements. Again, we're currently funded through federal programs and preschool, so that is our focus. So most of our books purchased are preschool, but as our funding changes, things change. We might change back to elementary, middle school, but right now we're really focusing on the whole family. As much as kids are important, we also acknowledge that the parents are really important too. That if the children see parents reading, even a newspaper or a book that they're enjoying, the children are more likely to read themselves.
Well, now, you guys started this and still have it as a summer program. Any thought
Actually, we do go all year also.
Oh, okay. I was wondering about
During
that.
the summer, this is our summer, we've continued with preschools. Previously, we had worked with schools age kids, and then summer did more preschool, more community. But this year, we are continuing because preschool and child care goes all year round. We do go school year and school during the summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's very exciting.
Yeah.
We have a
That's
lot of fun.
wonderful. I bet.
Yes, we even go to the summer feeding spots where they're giving away lunches in the summer. We're providing books to all of those patrons that come in. So like Heather and Monica have stated, we do work with the community as well, but our targeted focus is preschool currently to help support that, so we can encourage all children to be build that language, through the love of books.
So now, if there are folks out there whose children are in preschool that haven't come in contact with you, how can they find you?
And that is true. There are over 300 preschools in Polk County, so it does take us a while to get to all of them. They are welcome to come to our community locations, and we post our community locations on our Facebook page. And we also, if for some reason, because we are a moving bus, if there's a traffic jam or if the bus breaks down or something, we do also post our, changes there. So we encourage everyone to check the Facebook page before coming out to see us.
Okay. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming in and sharing everything that you guys do.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yeah,
We
thank
appreciate
you.
it.
It's been a pleasure.
The Books Bridge program works to support literacy by providing instruction and free books to young people throughout Polk County, with a particular focus on preschoolers. They partner with schools, support agencies, and communities to promote lifelong curiosity for learning and provide resources to support the betterment of Polk families. Each Books Bridge bus is outlined as a mobile classroom and staffed with a certified team, a library media specialist, and a paraprofessional driver. Preschoolers attend their classes to learn and receive free books. Families of Polk students can find them at community locations to get books for their children and receive resources to support family literacy. The program is funded by federal programs and supported by Polk County School Board's Library Media Services and ESOL department. For more information on the program, you can give them a call at 863-647-4714 or look them up at www.facebook.com/booksbridgebus.